Next on the Broadway show, Netflix's new movie musical 13 is now streaming. We'll get to know the film's young star, Eli Golden. And Hello Gorgeous 2.0, you'll meet Broadway's new funny girl. And they're making waves off Broadway. It's a hilarious new nautical parody, Titanic. I'm Tamsin Fidel, and this is the Broadway show. It's the Broadway show, and we're back with another good one. I'm Tamsin Fidel. Let's kick it off with the revival of Funny Girl. Beanie Feldstein just wrapped up her run as Fanny Brice. Lea Michele takes over the role in September, but in the meantime, standby Julie Benko has the spotlight to herself. Paul Montour caught up with Julie Benko.
This role, Fanny Brice, has obviously been a role that I think many people have been kind of afraid to touch on Broadway for almost 60 years. What's your take on that and sort of the Barbra Streisand legacy of it all? Where's your head at about it, and why do you think it's a good role for you?
Well, Barbra Streisand obviously is iconic in the part, and she is entwined with the role in a lot of ways. But actually, I never saw Funny Girl growing up. I didn't know it. I didn't know the music. I'd seen the movie one time. I saw it after I found out I got a call back, and so I was like, I should watch this movie. And it was great, but I actually don't want to keep watching it. I think it was actually very freeing because I was able to approach it from, myself as an actress, and I did a lot of research on the real Fanny Brice, and she was such a fascinating woman. And I think I'm a Jewish woman. She was a Jewish woman. I like being funny. There was like a lot that I could invest in, and I really love the research, so I actually think it was quite freeing that I didn't know the Barbra version. So I think that's been probably the best way to think about it, and I'll watch it again, all the Barbra version, when this is all, so it doesn't get, because she was amazing, obviously.
And there's more where that came from. Coming up a little later this month, we'll bring you more of Paul's chat with Julie, as well as another one of Broadway's amazing standbys, Max Clayton from The Music Man.
I wanna fly, wanna run, wanna drive, wanna get rich, wanna get mad, wanna get
Out right now on Netflix, it's 13, the movie musical. It's the streamer's latest in a line of stage-to-screen projects based on the 2008 Broadway musical. It's a story of a 12-year-old whose life is turned upside down when he's forced to move from Manhattan to the Midwest. Paul's here with the story.
That's right, Tamsin. 14-year-old Eli Golden is having his big moment playing Evan Goldman, the lead role in the Netflix adaptation of the Broadway musical 13. I got to meet this rising star at Citizen M Hotel. Everyone will be turning on their Netflix and seeing you because 13, the musical, the movie, is finally coming out. This is a Broadway show from way back, actually.
Yeah, 2008, I believe.
Yeah, were you alive when it was on Broadway?
Yes, I was alive.
Okay, but you didn't see it. You didn't.
I was 1.5, so don't think I got around to see that one.
But yeah, it's a big, beautiful movie musical. I saw it. You're fantastic in it.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And everyone's gonna be watching it. I mean, how does that feel to know that like everyone's gonna be staring at your face, streaming worldwide?
Definitely a little nervous about it because the internet. I'm scared of the comments that are negative, but I'm refraining from reading them.
Yeah, we don't do that. No,
we don't want to do that. But I'm so excited for everyone to see what me and my castmates did because truly, this was a part of us all because we all were stuck up in Canada for 5 months filming this.
Yeah.
And we all had an amazing time, no matter what. There was obviously the rough patches and everything, but at the end of it all, it was really like we are family now. I still talk with most of them on a daily basis.
Eli Golden playing Evan Goldman.
Yeah.
E.G., the same initials. Is this sort of like a role you were born to play? Is this perfect for you?
I'm hoping it was.
Evan is a cool New York City kid, and his parents are separating, and mom is taking him back to Indiana. What do you love about this character, and what did you sort of connect with about it?
Well, I think Evan is very similar to me, so it was easy to channel my kind of being into the character and into the role in general because I was moved from New York to Canada. It was a big change. I was the new kid again. I was able to take certain moments from my life of like, oh, this is when I was really feeling this way. This is when I was really feeling this way. And when I was really mad at my mom, when I was really sorry about something I did, and I was able to kind of churn it all up and put it into Evan, so I can get as much as I possibly can into Evan.
What I really remember about seeing 13 on Broadway was just seeing a show with so much young talent all on one stage was really exciting. And I felt the same way watching the film. It's just, you really just sort of fall for everyone. What was it like actually being around so many kids your age and everyone getting this opportunity at once?
I think for me personally, it was what I really needed. And everyone else, every one of my castmates are so talented. And I remember walking in the first day of rehearsals after the 2-week quarantine that we had to go through to be in Canada.
Right.
And it was really grueling. And I remember the first time we met everybody was we all got each other's numbers and we went on House Party at the time, which was a thing at the time.
Yeah. And
we went on House Party and I think we got on sometime on Saturday morning and we didn't get off till Sunday night. Everyone was on that call. It was such a good, I remember those times, like, that's when I really think of like the good times of Canada. Because it was, I only remember really when I first, met them, when I first got the set. And when we started rehearsals, finally, I felt really out of place because I was like, I'm just a kid from New York. I've met so many people. Oh, I've been dancing since I was 3. Oh, I've been singing since I was born. Oh, okay. I started taking voice lessons and I act. I felt very out of place, and I learned to kind of be at one with everyone. Because I remember I was like, oh, you guys are all in the same situation as me. You guys are doing what I'm doing. And it was eye-opening, and it was what I needed.
The best and the worst and the most and the least and the crazy and the scary, and we're just about to turn 13.
Tell me what else? What are your goals? I mean, what do you want to be by the time you're 20?
That's a good question. I think personally, I want to pursue acting. I want to definitely do that, but right now I am working on a lot of music. So I feel like maybe doing some venues, some tour, I feel like that'd be a lot of fun.
I love it.
Before I'm 20. And
What's your music like?
I take from like a lot of R&B, pop type of idea. I have an EP coming out, which I haven't named yet, but it is coming out sometime in the near future. But I have my first song out, Back to Me, which I am super proud of. It was one of my first songs I wrote. I made it so everyone is able to listen to it. It's listenable for anyone who wants to listen to it. And you can like any different genre, but I want you to be able to listen to my music, and I want you to be able to find a comfort in it. And I want to do an action movie. This is what I want to do, an action movie.
That's a good goal.
That's something I want to do, like, something with Tom Cruise or some cool action star.
Cool.
I think that'd be really fun.
She's simply perfection. And I think that she made this new album for me because she sings Rainbow Connection. Get it? Rainbow? She's a fan.
Randy Rainbow is a breakout YouTube star and an Emmy nominee for his hilarious political satire mixed with musical theater. During the COVID era, while we were all stuck at home, he was making us laugh. His videos viewed more than 500 million times and counting. Now he's out with a new book, Playing With Myself. I had a chance to sit down with Randy Rainbow.
Mr. Biden, bring my vaccine. Keep me protected from COVID-19. Tell me the trick to how I might earn a fix of that magic Pfizer or Moderna.
Congratulations. Can I just say, I'm sitting here. What?
I wrote a book.
Oh
Guys,
my gosh.
a whole book with
Did you
pages.
ever want to write a book with words and everything?
No, I'd never thought that I could, or it really never was on my list of dreams. But it's just one of those dreams that you never dared to dream coming true.
I was TikToking and YouTubing and on your website, and I went into this deep, search, like looking. I couldn't stop watching last night. But I'm so curious about your process. Like, where do you begin to where the end result happens? And I guess you're probably asked that a lot, but I'm just fascinated by it.
Well, first I watch the news, because I say in the book, now available, wherever books are sold, that it's my work is not politically motivated, so people might find that surprising. But it's not. I watch the news. It's certainly politically themed, so I do have to watch the news and be up on what's going on in the world. But what gets me out of bed to make the thing is that I really just want to be Carol Burnett and Bernadette Peters and just put on a show. So I have a list of songs that I'd like to parodize, and I write the lyrics, I put it together, Then I'm just giving you just a quick abbreviated
Yeah, because you
sort
say
of version.
write the lyrics. I think like that would take my whole life.
That's easy because, you know, when you're doing topical humor, especially, and thanks to social media, you can kind of just click on and see what everyone's talking about, see what's trending, see what everyone's screaming at each other about. And I also, of course, have my own opinions. I am very opinionated and angry about things. So that, of course, goes into the writing. I'm the sole writer. So that goes quickly. Then I now work with a little music team. I have my musical director for my live show, Jesse Kissel, my music producer, Michael Moritz, and I tell them, guys, for instance, this last video I did, I say, Ron DeSantis is misbehaving, I want to be Carol Burnett, and I want to sing the song Shy from Once Upon a Mattress, but it's going to be gay.
Right.
And we have to say gay, gay, gay in 4-part harmonies as much as possible. They go away, they kind of put together a little thing, we kind of collaborate on the musical side. They send me the track once I've recorded it. Then I film, and which is really just me. It's very boring to see it. It's me just standing there in front of a green screen. And then, of course, as you know, the magic happens in the editing afterwards, which I kind of just stay up all night editing.
I never want to ask people where you're going to be 10 years from now, but I want to ask you this. If you look back 10 years ago, where you were to where you are now, could you have ever imagined this? What was your thought trajectory? Where'd you want to be?
No, I was on the floor, and if you read the book, now available, Playing With Myself, you will see that 10 years ago I was on the floor in my little studio apartment in Astoria, Queens, saying, what the hell am I doing? What am I trying to do? What is the goal? I have no idea, but I just, for some reason, stuck to my guns and listened to the little voice in my head that said, keep going. There's a lot of cliches in this book, because it turns out they're true.
Yeah.
If you just listen to your instincts and you persevere and you stick around long enough, stuff starts to happen. But I never in my wildest dreams thought that a lot of what's going on today would be my real life. It's crazy.
Still plenty more to talk about on this edition of The Broadway Show. Coming up, we want to be starting something. We're talking to one of the breakout stars of MJ the Musical. I'm Tamsin Fidel, and this is The Broadway Show. If you're looking for laughs, you'll want to check out Titanic. It's a musical parody based on the 90s blockbuster Titanic. Let's check back in with Paul Wontorek.
That's right, Tamsin. Marla Mendel and Constantine Marzulli have created the off-Broadway hit Titanic. I sat down with them at Citizen M Hotel to talk about their inspiration for the musical parody. There has already been a Titanic musical on Broadway.
Correct.
This is very different. This is Titanic. What are we dealing with here? Because this came from your minds, I should also say. I first know you as performers, and you both are in the show, but you also co-wrote it. Tell me where this came from. Just tell me everything, because everyone in town is talking about it.
Oh my gosh. This idea came from our genius psychopath right here, Constantine Marzulli. So we were musical theater expats. We were in Los Angeles doing dinner theater, these movie to musical parodies like Devil Wears Prada, Troop Beverly Hills, Scream. And then one night we're at the bar, because it was a dinner theater / bar.
Yeah.
So the only thing we got was fish and red sauce and a glass of wine after the show. Connie comes up to me, a glass of wine, and he's
Wasted.
like, yeah. The next musical we're doing should be Titanic with all Celine Dion songs. I'll be Jack Dawson, aka Leonardo DiCaprio, and you'll be Celine Dion. And then we sat on the idea for 2 years. And then in 2016, Ty Blue, the director, was like, I keep thinking about this Celine Dion Titanic-inspired musical. So we started writing it literally because we were unemployed and we just needed to make each other laugh. And then, I mean, long story short, 5 years later, here we are off Broadway with Broadway producers attached. It's just the most surreal experience, yeah.
It kind of fires on all the pop culture pistons, because people do really associate Celine Dion, right, with Titanic, just because of the soundtrack and the song.
The song.
And
yeah.
is the song in the show?
Yes.
1000%.
We have the song. We have mostly all of her songs, which
Yeah.
I am.
There are
also
many Celine Dion songs.
shocked.
Yeah.
Got cleared for all of those songs. And miraculously, it tells the story of Titanic. All of her songs.
Give me an example of a Celine Dion song.
I drove all night, driving into the iceberg. Taking chances. Everyone is getting
on the ship is so excited to start their new life. Little do they know they're about to die.
Yeah. To love you more when they're on the bow of the ship, when she's like, I'm flying.
Jack. It suits itself for a musical.
And and you gave yourself the heartthrob role.
Are you kidding me? You think I'm gonna write a musical and not put myself as the lead? You all have something else coming for you.
He had to convince me. He was like, "You're gonna be Celine." I was like, "Absolutely not." She is my literal icon, diva, legend. I grew up belting my face off. She taught me how to sing. So I was like, there is no chance in hell that I can play the greatest singer of all time. And then he was like, "No, you're just gonna do it." I was like, "Okay, fine, but I'm not gonna like it." And I literally kicked and screamed through the writing process, through doing the initial readings. I was like, "I don't know, you guys, maybe we shouldn't do this." And we just started doing more and more readings in Los Angeles, literally for fun and to make people laugh. And then I was like, is this actually funny or is it just LA funny?
Right.
Let's take it to New York and see who the real critics are.
So does Celine Dion know you two exist?
God, I hope so.
God, I hope so.
But
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
She's probably like, what is happening?
I hope so, because if she did see the show, she would realize that we're all such huge fans of hers. Beyond the movie Titanic, I'm actually more of a fan of Celine Dion.
Yeah.
So she would see that we are celebrating her extreme fabulosity, and
It's a love letter to her.
it's a love letter
for
to
sure.
her.
I mean, we don't. It's basically she is on the ship that night, and what really happens through her eyes and songs, and that fateful night of the craziness of Jack and Rose, and Molly Brown and everybody, and she's one of the characters on the ship.
She's telling the story.
She's telling the story. She narrates the story.
Yes, in our show, she believes that she was on the ship in 1912. Everyone's like, "Celine, that'd make you 150 years old." She's like, "Just go with me for a second." And they're like, "Okay, this sounds like a wild conspiracy theory, but I guess we're on board." And so Celine Dion is on the ship with Jack and Rose and with all the other characters narrating the movie Titanic. Yeah.
So you're telling the story of Titanic, and then all the characters are there. But then there's also like Victor Garber is a character, and Kathy Bates is a character.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a.
We play on a lot of pop culture and
Yeah.
a lot of just like new age humor, especially that's out right now, which is lovely because it brings it to a different level. But you still get those iconic, nostalgic moments of, them on the bow of the ship and meeting at the clock for the first time, and it's all like the big hits from the actual scenes from those movies that we've done. But we've also rearranged and rewritten the whole script, so it's fun to see this. Our baby come to life, and to have this familiar movie and this huge diva icon, but also be able to rewrite a whole brand new script.
Here's what I will say. I have not heard people, and I'm not just tooting our own horn, I'm genuinely shocked. I have not heard people laugh this much since I saw Book of Mormon. I mean, I'm shocked. And there's only 200 people in the audience, so it's like a small crowd, but people are living their best lives. I just think everyone wants to laugh right now. So the crowds that we get are like, woo! It's like Girls Gone Wild in the audience.
Yeah, it is.
So what is the secret to nailing the Celine Dion? Is it an impersonation? What is it? What's the best way to describe what you're doing up there?
The secret is pretending like you're smelling a fart. That is the secret. If you just look around, oh my God, did I fart? Did somebody farted? That's literally it. You just have to pretend like you're in disbelief the entire time, and you throw in a hand and so good to see you. And you just beat your chest, and that's it.
Thanks for staying with us. This is the latest episode of The Broadway Show. So glad you're here. MJ the Musical is one of the biggest, flashiest debuts this Broadway season. That's why one of the musical's breakout stars is this week's fresh face.
Hi, my name is Tavon Old Sample. I play Michael in MJ the Musical on Broadway. I grew up in Virginia Beach, Virginia. I was always singing and dancing, whether it be in the car or in my parents' apartment. All the time, I loved music and I loved TV and film and just everything about it. I felt like I started to really love theater when I watched High School Musical for the first time. And when I got to high school, when I auditioned for the Governor's School for the Arts in Norfolk, Virginia, I found out that it is musical theater, singing, dancing, and acting. And I was like, oh snap, I can do this. My first Broadway show was the one that I am in currently. I did not see a Broadway show until after we started shows. I saw The Lion King for the first time, and that was an eye-opening and just jaw-dropping experience. I always loved Michael Jackson, and so I remember sending in a tape and not really expecting anything back because it was the automated email. And at that point, I was auditioning for adult Michael, which I was not ready for. And they were like, we still have an opening for middle Michael. I was like, middle Michael? We did a callback and then we did a work session. And then I remember about 2 weeks later, I got the call that I had booked the role as Michael in MJ the Musical, and I was over the moon. The advice I would give to someone is dream big, and I'm telling you from a person that does it scared almost every day, you can do it scared. I'd rather you do it scared and get through it than regret it. So you got this, and always keep God first and everything else will follow.
And that's going to do it for us. Until next time, I'm Tamsin Fidel, and this is The Broadway Show.